welcome to Everything Jenny. I'm Jenny Bergen, and I'd like to thank you for stopping in today. I want to welcome any new and definitely returning viewers, and it's really an honor that you're spending the time with me today. Today is my episode 10, so I've made it 10 episodes, and I know that it's been a while since my last podcast. I was finishing up my semester for the University of Laverne, so I was doing a lot of grading and getting papers back to my students, submitting grades, all very time intensive, and working on a few projects, so I do have some things to share with you today. But, excuse me, I am here, and it's episode 10, and I do want to remind you I am on Ravelry, Instagram, Facebook, and I have an Etsy shop, all under Everything Jenny. And my website is also everythingjenny.com. And I am now going to I've been, I've been sampling Periscope as a viewer. So I may decide to go ahead and actually broadcast on Periscope. I haven't really decided yet. So we'll give it a try and see how it goes probably in the next few weeks. But I am back today in my craft room. And as you can see, it's incredibly warm in here. So I keep coughing and sweating. And I'm going to go with I glisten because I like how it sounds better. And otherwise, I am here on a very hot summer day. And we're going to go ahead and get started in showing you things that I have going on. Now, I have a sock pattern. I mentioned before that I just put out. It's a shorty, classic vanilla shorty sock pattern on Ravelry. And so that pattern is available now. But I'm starting a new sock pattern. And this one, I just am going to show you my yarn here. And that'll be out soon. So I'm hoping to get that done in the next week or so and then get it up and published. But these are my two sock yarn choices, and one of them is let's see, which ones did I use? I have the Victory sock base from Knitted Wit in Sensible Shoes, and the Sensible Shoes I believe is this one, and then the other one is the Texas Dyed Wool, and that one is Good Vibes. So I believe those were the two that I used for this. And it says Sensible Shoes, but I believe this might be Rock Candy, so sorry for that. But those are the two colors that I'm going to be using in my new sock pattern, so you'll be able to find that soon on Ravelry, and I'll go ahead and let you know when that's available. And then I am still working on my Georgia Belle shawl, but that one I didn't bring up here to my craft room. I'm working on it downstairs. And I'm also working on the Budding Bluebells shawl. And I have not made much progress since the last time I showed you guys. But this is in, the colorway is April Showers by Material Culture Fiber Arts. And so I have probably about, I want to say 10 more sets of 6 rows to go. So 60 rows of just working this pattern, and then I will start the lace edging. So that one is still my work in progress, but I had so many other things, so I've been working on quite a few pieces for that right now. I have done a little bit of progress here on my Coziest Memories blanket. So I had just a few squares, but as you can see, I'm attempting just to see how wide I want to go. So I was going ahead and continuing, and I ended up with, I believe the last time I showed you, I was somewhere around this one. So I have added in this color, and then this is from my shawl that I just finished in the Monet's Garden. This one is from the shawl that I showed you a while back that I ended up doing the Pico bind off, and I did it in a gray colorway to go with this. And then this is from a pair of socks that I did. So there's a Madeline Tosh. And this is from that shawl that I made for my mom for Mother's Day. And then this one is, I believe, is this from, I don't remember who I got this one from, but this one is a set. I believe there's 6 in the set of different colors. So I'm going to go ahead and get those done. So far, I believe I have 18, and I'm thinking that'll be the width of my blanket. I might go a little wider, maybe 20, but I haven't decided yet. So I'm going to go ahead and keep working and measuring and seeing what I like. I think I'm going to start my row 2 and just take it from there and see if I'm liking the width as I add rows. So, but I am keeping a journal for myself that lets me know all of the different colors that I've used and all of the where they came from. So if they were just from little mini skeins that I ordered, or if they were from projects I've done or from friends. So I am working on that. The other thing, I had a cousin of mine just recently posted a thing about it's 49 weeks to Christmas. And of course, panic set in because I have all these ideas about Christmas and things I'd like to get done for Christmas presents. And I have not actually made much progress on Christmas because I've been trying new things and working on things for myself. So I decided that I would look today in my stash for some of my cotton yarn. So this is the Knit Picks Dishy in the cotton yarn. And I wanted to make some market totes for people, some little market bags. So I am working on this here. And you can see I've finished the bag. And this particular pattern has this adorable kind of flowered look to the bottom. And when it's laid out flat, you can see how pretty that flower is. And I only have now the handle that will come up and across and connect over here. So I'm almost done. That's what I've been working on today. And I'm liking it. So I might continue with that same pattern for some other ones for family members. And I think I've got 3 or 4. And I really liked the ones that closed up into themselves in like a little pouch. But I liked the pouch idea, and I didn't necessarily like the pattern for the bag itself. So I'm tossed. I may decide to make some extra little bags just to kind of put them in crocheted little pouches to put them in, and I may just leave them the way they are and let it go from there. But I am working on that. Let's see. Mostly my Coziest Memories blanket squares I've been working on while watching Netflix. So my husband has asked that I would sit with him and go through season 1, and now we're into season 2 of Daredevil. I can honestly say I was not prepared for how violent the show is. It has some great acting. I enjoy the storyline, but wow, the graphic nature of the TV show is a little disturbing for me. So I'm finding myself using my Coziest Memory blankets as more of a blindfold at this point because I can't take how incredibly violent is, I guess, the only word I can come up with for the show. So my finished objects, I currently only have, I didn't bring my husband's socks up. I did my classic vanilla shorty sock pattern for my husband, and I had to add some rows for him. For myself, I liked the shorter sock, but for him, he wanted more of an ankle sock. So I added some rows and some length for him. I did the same process in my pattern, and I used a Madeline Tosh sock yarn, and of course in a brown that goes with his whiskey barrel colorway. And the other project I just finished and I have not blocked yet is the Midnight in Sydney shawl. And this shawl is a basic garter stitch until you get here to the lace pattern. And I'll see if I can stretch it out a little bit for you. And you can see kind of this lace pattern. And I know it's hard to see there, but you can see it's kind of holy. It's going to be a lot more of that lace pattern showing once I actually block it. So I liked how it's kind of a short little touch for summer. So when I just want to grab a quick little over the shoulder little shawl, I'll have that, and it will stretch out quite a bit. This yarn was the Monet's Garden that I talked about in my Coziest Memory Blanket little square, and it's the Monet's Garden by Knitted Wit, I believe. So I am hoping to go ahead and block this later today and then let it just sit and see how it stretches out, and once I pin it and block it and see how I like everything. But it's in my goal to finish at least 6 to 8 shawls for this year. So by Christmas, I want to have that. I believe I've got 4 done for myself, and I have the one that I did for Mom that I'm not going to count in my 6 to 8. And then this week, other than looping on, I guess, in my bags, I have not cast anything new on this week. I do have some new yarn purchases. I did the, I believe it's Fido minis, the hand-dyed mini skeins. This particular pack is the Pride and Prejudice No Zombies. And she has, you can see all these kind of pastel pinks and grays. And she lists here on the front of the package, the left to right, you have Charlotte, Mr. Bennett, Georgiana, Mr. Bingley, Lady Catherine, Mr. Collins. This is down fingering weight, and there's approximately 80 yards per skein. So it's approximately 480 yards total. This is an 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, and 10% nylon. And so then these I was going to probably just go ahead and add to my Coziest Memories blanket. But when you do her mini skeins, she often sends a pattern with it so that you could just use these mini skeins to create a project. So I love her colorways. Often I've ordered several, and I actually ordered from the same artist. This is a 2-ply sock fingering weight yarn, and this is kind of an orange, gold, silver. There's some rust and brown in there. So this, I ordered 2 skeins of this, or 2 hanks of this, and they are 400 yards each. It's an 80% superwash merino wool and a 20% nylon. And I ordered this to do one of my other shawls that I believe it's the pattern by Voulenvine, the Ville de Mer shawl, where she uses that beautiful green kind of colorway. And I thought I wanted to give myself something in kind of these rusty golds and things that reminded me of fall, because I want to go ahead and have this one ready for the fall. So I did get 2 of these. These are new yarn acquisitions. And then I recently also have 2 other shawls that I'm going to start when I finish my budding bluebells, and then I'll start another one. So this is the colors that I plan to use for one of them. And together they just look really yummy. And one is the Madeline Tosh sock in the color, it says wheat or winter wheat. So this is winter wheat. And this one is the Material Culture Fiber Arts, and it is the colorway Point Reyes. And so you can see here where, right here, these colors that she's achieved there really go well with this Madeline Tosh sock. So I'm going to have some fun and interesting pops of color, and then some more on this subdued side. And again, this one is to get me ready for the fall, and it'll give me kind of that same fall feel to it. So that one will be coming soon. And then the other one I have for my bright color, it's Material Culture Fiber Arts Super Bloom. And so this one has some blues here, some pinks, and you can kind of see here this greenish blue on both ends. And so what I did is I picked up a Madeline Tosh sock in silver leaf to go with that kind of greenish blue color there. And then to go with more of this darker blue here, I picked up another Madeline Tosh sock in Morning Dove. And so together, see if I put it over here maybe. You can see how well these colors all go together. And so this one's going to be one that's more of a winter feel. And so again, another beautiful shawl that I plan to work on. And so those are really my new yarn acquisitions. Not a whole lot. I have been doing some spinning. My spinning lately, I showed you guys that I had purchased this BFL, and this was the first time that I have worked with, one, a braid, and two, BFL fiber. And so this braid, as I've taken it apart and pulled it into smaller, more manageable sections, you can see here the colors are so pretty and kind of those earth tones. It's earthen hues. So this is the fiber that I've been spinning, and I have been working on my spinning and trying to drop spindle. So I've been trying to spin a very fine single ply, and then I'm hoping, if everything works out okay, that I will go ahead and take this and make it into a 2-plied yarn. So that should come out pretty close to a DK weight maybe. And then I haven't decided what I'm going to actually work on with that, but I'm excited to get that done. So I have done about a fourth of the spindling on that fiber. So I still have about 3/4 to go. And I also don't have up here my progress markers. I was at Disneyland and I picked up some charms, which I'm going to use as progress markers. So next time I will share those with you. I have been cutting out and working on sewing my Dottie Angel frocks. I have 2 more cut and pieced, so I'm ready for stitching on those. And then I also had my very dear friend, Kat, and she's had a blog in the past. I don't know that she's blogging right now. If she is, you can certainly find her at Kat the Vintage Housewife. I believe it's at Blogspot, but she's katthevintagehousewife.com. And so then she knows my absolute love of Dottie Angel. And so she asked me if I had the new pattern. And I said, new pattern? Wait, what? So she picked it up for me and she sent it to me. And so here you can see the top, which is going to be here and here. It shows it. And then the skirt is also in here. Or you can also go to the top as a dress with the skirt piece. So it's all like one attached piece. I am so excited for this. I have some vintage fabric from when I was a kid that my mother gave me. And it is enough fabric to go ahead and make myself some of these little tank tops. I love them. And I am so excited to get those going. So I'm going to go ahead and give myself a try on the skirt and the tank tops. But I'm going to finish some of my Dottie Angel frocks first and get those to a more manageable spot in my craft room. And then let's see, what else did I have to share with you? Oh, in more sewing news, in crafting, I guess you can say, I found in my Dottie Angel book, the one book that I do have, she had this adorable idea for creating picnic blankets out of vintage table linens. And so she adds some decorative things to the edges, and if there's holes, she works with the holes with some doilies, and she embroiders on them and turns them into pieces of artwork that you can go ahead and share with other people as a gift for a kind of a picnic blanket kind of thing. And so I have picked up for some, I think for Christmas, I'm going to be doing some different projects. So this is one of the vintage table linens I picked up. And then I have a couple more. So this one here, this vintage table linen. And most of them have at some point, you're not going to find unless you pay a lot of money, vintage table linens without stains. But I'm just going to work with that and call it character. So this is another one I picked up. And the other piece of this. So all of those patterns, and I've washed them and dried them, and so I'm planning this summer to get as many of my Christmas presents done as possible. So I'm going to be working on some embroidery on these, adding some, maybe their name, maybe adding some inspiring words or things like that, adding a little bit of something to the edges, not a uniform look maybe, but just kind of something fun and edgy that gives them that definite homemade feel. So I am working on that. And I think I don't have any shop update this week. I will be getting some more things in the shop, but I've not had time, like I said, to really get much done. I've mostly been working on things little by little, and in the art. So in art, I mentioned last time that I was getting a pochade box together with my husband. We were going to do some plein air painting. It was going to be my first attempt at plein air painting. I can say that it was challenging. As someone who strives for perfection in everything that I do, I found it difficult to allow myself to be in the moment and to let things happen. And it didn't have to be perfect. It just had to kind of capture the moment right then, right there. And the moment is not always going to be perfect. And so I really, really struggled with that. And I would show you, but it's still wet, and I don't want to, it was oil paint, so I don't want to bring it up and get it all over my other beautiful yarn and things like that. So when it dries, I will definitely share that with you. It's not going to be my greatest piece, but it was a start. It gave me the opportunity, one, to spend time with my husband and work on the arts. Two, it gave me an opportunity to stretch myself, to discover that perfection is not always necessary to an enjoyment of craft. And three, I think I probably have realized that now, looking back on it, the process of taking the time to paint and to express myself was more important than capturing the exact scene. I found as I started, I was looking to replicate exactly what I saw, and that was tough for me. I was not going to be able to capture exactly what I saw. So what I ended up doing is I started and I kind of roughed in what was there and kind of got some mountains and started to rough in some trees and the river a little bit. And then I went more in the vein of go with the feel instead of go with what you see. So it became more of an impressionistic piece. You can see touches of Van Gogh in my water. You can see the impressions. You can see the trees are there, but it's more of a impressions of the trees. It's not every leaf, every detail. It's very simple, but very effective. And so I experimented not only first time working really with oils, but my first time working fast with oils, working in a plein air setting, working from nature. Those were all first for me, and so I feel like it was a task I'm happy to have accomplished, and I look forward to doing again. I look forward to doing it where I'm able to let go of the preconceived notions that I have about it. So I will definitely be sharing that with you and sharing more about the experience as we go. But otherwise, for this week, I think that's pretty much my updates. And so I would like to say thank you again for stopping by. And I can't wait to share with you next time. I will definitely let you know when I have any shop updates or any future things accomplished. I'm looking to ply my first spindle spun yarn this week. So when I get that done, again, I'll share that with you. And I hope that you have a fantastic week. Find something that inspires you and moves you, and definitely get out there and share your craft and share your thoughts, share your ideas, share any piece of you that you can to inspire others. And I hope you have a fantastic week, and I will see you next time. Hugs!